I went to see a film last night with a friend called Sight. It's by the studio Angel Studios, the ones that produced The Chosen, the first crowd-funded film or miniseries or whatever you want to call that one. It was on its own separate network. They have their own network, so if you wanted to watch The Chosen, you had to go onto their app. Anyway, it just feels a little bit to me like propaganda. We were watching the film, and afterward they had the main character. It was based on a true story about a surgeon from China who overcame all these obstacles, which were fabulous. And I give this guy credit to obtain his degree, his PhD in medicine, and come to the States and practice, which is really hard to do. I mean, he beat out so many people in China to get here, and they only chose like 4 people supposedly out of his town. In the end, they were also asking for money. They wanted you to, quote, pay it forward. I said, well, we just bought tickets. Why do I have to pay again? For what? You know, like taxes. You pay when you earn it. You pay when you spend it. You pay when you invest it. You know, and you pay if you inherit it. So it's like, okay, it seems like it's redundant here, but I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you know anything about Angel Studios, Angel Productions? It just seems like, too, in the film, they were really, really downcasting the uprisers, the people who were against the emperor, ironically, the people who wanted to be sovereign. And they were making the the Catholics, like all holier than thou. They were saving the blind children and, you know, trying to get her sight restored, and this whole story. Not that you wouldn't want to get a child's sight restored, of course you would, anybody would. But it was just sort of interesting how that was that polarization between the people who wanted to be sovereign from the church and the emperor. Maybe not the church, but definitely the emperor in China. And then the people who were sort of portrayed in the film as the good guys, you know, sort of like a typical classic Western, the good guys and the bad guys. So I don't know, it just sort of struck me, and I'm like, I mean, looking at things and just wondering, is this propaganda? Like, are the theaters doing things similar to what took place? Like, I know for an example of propaganda, the most obvious is, you know, the Holocaust, what the Germans did, how they portray the Jewish people, like having a good time at the camp and singing and playing and eating together. And then they used that to circulate throughout so that everyone was sort of placated that, oh, they're fine. This is just, you know, this is fine. Nothing wrong is going on here. But people believed it because they saw it on the media. So I'm just asking everyone, I guess, critical think. If it feels weird, say something, just like I'm doing right now. It just felt weird to me. It felt like, there's like an underlying current. And even the gentleman that gave the speech at the end asking for money and donations, he just didn't seem sincere. He seemed really awkwardly uncomfortable giving this sort of pitch. Yeah, let me know what you think.